This is the first of a series of conversations, Speak Up. Because we believe that if you express your true, authentic self and you share your story, you will not only help others to learn and grow and develop their skills, but also inspire. Our first conversation is with Bertrand Petit. And I believe, Bertrand, that you started your career not where you wanted to be.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alicia, and welcome to this beautiful place here in Monaco. Yes, today we wanted to talk a little bit about authenticity. And you're right, I started my career way back in the 90s without revealing my age necessarily, but and I grew up in a family that was a family of entrepreneurs in the medical field, in the medical business. And it was sort of a natural way for me to get involved into this business. And it was an easy way in a sense. When you already have your family company, you probably think of it as an easy career in front of you. And I started in working for my parents' company in sales and in the medical field. I have an aversion for sales. I have no talent necessarily in sales. I don't have an aversion, but I don't necessarily perform very well as a salesperson. And I'm very uncomfortable in hospitals. And I was supposed to sell medical devices in hospitals and research centers. And it's true that when you do that, I did that for a couple of years. And I can safely say that it destroys you. It destroys the person you are because first of all, you don't get to use your talents. You don't get to use your passions. You don't get to really express who you are as a person and grow as a person because of that experience. And those 2 years were very difficult. I was unhappy. I was stressed in the bad sense, sleepless nights and, being worried, not being very engaged when you wake up in the morning. You don't really feel like going to work. You're like, oh no, can I slow down? I remember walking very slowly. I would walk from my apartment to the office, and I would walk as slowly as possible because that was my enjoyment of the day, was just the walk to the office. Once I opened the door to the office, it was hell for me. And I made a decision because I had a passion since I was a little kid. I was absolutely fascinated by cruise ships. And I wanted to work on a cruise ship. Now, in my family, that was not necessarily something that was perceived as being very favorable. It was like, really, you want to work on a cruise ship? So I left the company. I left a little bit my family as well. I went to the US. I got an education in the US, and I joined my first cruise ship after education, after working a little bit in New York in the hospitality sector to sort of train. I joined my very first cruise ship, which was a Seven Seas Mariner, brand new cruise ship, which at the time was actually the #1 cruise ship in the world. And I joined the ship in Vancouver. And I remember joining the ship in that beautiful port. For those of you that have been in Vancouver, the port is it's one of the most beautiful ports in the world. And as I was walking on the gangway with my backpack, ready to work for 4 or 5 months on board, I started crying.
Wow.
And the HR manager welcomed me together with the other crew members that were joining that day. And he said, "It's your first time working on a ship?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Don't cry, don't worry, you'll be okay." And I remember my answer to him was, "You don't understand, I know I'll be okay. I'm living my dream, I know I'll be okay."
Wow.
And this is what I mean about, and then I grew from there. I worked on ships for several years. I ended up being hotel director on board cruise ships, and then I worked in the corporate office. And living your life authentically, I mean, there's not one single day on those ships where I didn't feel like going to work. Commuting on the ship is easy. You go from your cabin, you do a few stairs, you're in your office. So the commute was easy, but still, there was not one single day. I learned on ships how to wake up at 5, not because I had to, but because when I woke up at 5, I would go up in the observation lounge and I would just sit there and just enjoy the fact that I was genuinely grateful for being just on board that ship right now doing this.
Wonderful that you were really being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And now, of course, you've started your own venture, moving on from that, which is another very significant change in your life, but really being authentic and real.
Absolutely, and it's again we come back full circle. Is you take risk. Being authentic. What is being authentic? Being authentic is living your life by your own values, living your life by your passions, living your life by what you really truly want to do, who you truly are. This can change over time. I am not the same person as I was
Yes.
10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yes.
It can change, but the beauty of that is you understand how you change and you understand how that changes the way you conduct your life. And today, yes, I had a very comfortable position as a CEO of a company here in Monaco. And it's very difficult, in a sense, to say, well, now I'm going to jump into entrepreneurship with no safety net. Forgetting about a nice, office with a view on the port of Monaco, forgetting about, the salary, the security of all the privileges and benefits, and jumping into entrepreneurship. But with my business partner, Lilian, what we said is, if we don't do it now, we'll never do it. And if we don't do it now, we're not true to who we are. And I think, yes, it's a lot of work. Yes, there is still stress, although it's a different type of stress. It's a stress more linked to we want to do good. We want to really express something that is truly us. We want to achieve something. We want to leave a legacy. We want to leave a mark, And our motto for our company, Vitrevious Partners Group, is that we want to grow people. We want to inspire people. We want to help them tell their stories so they can inspire greatness in themselves and in others. And I think when you have such a motto, when you have such a passion, which again is about authenticity, it's difficult, it's never easy, but it's so amazingly extraordinary. It's an amazing journey.
So on 2 occasions now, you really stepped out of your comfort zone in order to live your authentic life. And I believe that you were with your mum last week, and she even recalled how you were stressed when you were not living that life, when you were not being true to yourself. So you've spoken about the risks, you've spoken about the different stresses, but how does it really feel when you are being true to yourself and you're living the life that is authentic for you?
Well, you see, Alicia, you have 2 options in life. Either you live the life of someone else, which is a little bit what I was doing, or you live your authentic life. You live the life that you truly want for yourself. And when you make that decision, which is a conscious decision to really live the life for yourself, to develop your own values, you feel excited, you feel engaged, you wake up in the morning, and again, you want to go to work. And I think that's a very good indication as to whether or not you're living an authentic life. Do you wake up in the morning wanting to jump out of bed and going to work? Or do you wake up in the morning snoozing the button a few times and dreading, oh, I've got to go to work? I think it's a very good indication as to whether you are authentic with yourself. And for me now, I know that, and again, it can change with time, but it's always important to know that you're waking up in the morning, you're jumping out of bed with a sense of excitement, with a sense of, I really want to accomplish something. It's also, I wake up in the morning now, it's interesting, I'm a morning person, more than an evening person. But I wake up in the morning with ideas. They may be stupid ideas, they may be very good ideas, I don't know, but I wake up in the morning with ideas. And I've noticed that it was the same thing when I was on cruise ships. You wake up in the morning with ideas, with things in your mind. You're not worrying things that like, oh wow, maybe I should do that. And I think when you live your authentic life, you have that. And it's a very good indication that yes, you're doing something good with your life.
I love hearing your story. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Alicia.
Speak up. Because when you speak up, you can change someone's life.
Thank you very much, Alicia. It's a pleasure.